Good morning, vinyl community. This is Doompaul here again for another show. Um, got a couple records to go over with you today. Hope you all doing well. I hit 100 subscribers, which is really rad, and I just want to say I appreciate. Um, that's uh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all your comments and all everybody that watches, and it's pretty rad. Um, so let me get into it. Couple of I was originally going to do a metal show today, and found I was a little bit lacking on metal. So lately, I've been out looking for metal. Haven't been overly successful. Found a found a couple staples here and there, but looking for a little bit more obscure stuff. Been going through Discogs and just looking at new wave of British heavy metal album covers, which belong in the annals of the finest art ever. And after scouring Discogs and looking at that, not much touches that. But let me start with the first record, and that is Judas Priest's Point of Entry. I consider there's two relevant phases of Judas Priest. And the first one, where they are singing about wizards and saints in hell and destroying stuff and magical beings, and then there's their street rocking phase. I'm not the biggest fan of their street rocking phase, and don't get me wrong, Judas Priest is one of my favorite bands of all time. Absolutely, hands down. One of the first records I ever bought was Sad Wings of Destiny, and just went on from there. This record is firmly in the sort of street rocking camp. And it's Columbia, or whatever. With songs like, Don't Go, Heading Out to the Highway. There's not a wizard to be found on this, which always kind of made me sad, because I thought that's where they really just succeeded. The imagery they gave in the lyrics and everything else, and sort of the world that they built, was just one of the best worlds ever. You could really get into it. I mean, listen to like Saints in Hell or something, and just the imagery it created was just amazing. And then they just went street rock, and the sort of the leather and denim motorcycle phase, which they were very good at. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that phase of Judas Priest. It's not as great for me. Now this record, that being said, this record has some of the, I don't know, just for hot rockin'. It sure breaks my metal rule of don't tell me how hard you're rocking. But this one I'll let it slide because it's so funny, and the video is absolutely one of the most hilarious things ever made. And there's some great songs on here. Solar Angels, Desert Plains. Even though it's a ballad, and I'm not a huge ballad fan, but I don't know. Out of their sort of street rocking phases, this is sort of my go-to Judas Priest record. British Steel, I enjoy, but it's not my favorite. It was just sort of a disappointment with it when they went from this sort of high fantasy thing into gutter and street. And I understand, they're going to get some money, and that's cool. I can't begrudge them that. I just enjoyed Judas Priest more when they were in the ether sphere or wherever. Next record I listened to was UFO Lights Out. Now, I am going to let you know that I don't know anything about UFO. I've often heard of them, and everyone talks about them and says that they're fantastic and everything else, and Michael Schenkner's in it, and I just never listened to them. So I figured I'd give it a go. I picked up this copy on the cheap, Lights Out 77. You know, it was good. Some ballads on it, didn't care for as much. You know, the guitars are fantastic. I have to give this a little bit more time. You know, I listened to it a couple of times, but this copy of the record I got it's been played so many times that it's not the best quality. So I'm gonna have to pick up a better copy. But my question for you is, okay, so you're working in a factory, and this guy here, he's in the back taking off his overalls, and this guy here, he's showing his belly button. What kind of factory is this? What's going on at this factory? I've worked in factories before, and the one time I tried to walk around with my belly button hanging out, I got fired. I don't know. But, like I said, I'm going to have to give this another listen. I don't know. It was good. I haven't gotten into UFO yet, and I'm sure that's a grave mistake, but I'm gonna, if you have any recommendations for UFO records I should listen to, please let me know in the comments, because I'd like to know. I'd like to be hip to them. I just don't know if that was the record to get hip to them about. You know, yeah, I don't even know. Okay. The next record, I actually bought yesterday, and it looked sort of like a new wave of British heavy metal cover, so I figured, oh, well, this might be great. UK, Night After Night, live. So, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't that look a little bit like a, you know, just sort of like a poorly slapped together new wave of British heavy metal record? I should have known from this guy's haircut. I should have known it was not. Because, frankly, this record is terrible. It sounds sort of like Asia if they knew how to play their instruments a little bit better. I had a hard time getting through this whole thing. I only paid $3 for it, and frankly, I should have bought a hot dog instead. It's not great. They all play their instruments really well, but the vocals are like hyper clean, and there's no grit to this whatsoever. It is like the cleanest, like most sanitized record I've ever heard. You know, I've seen it in my local record store a couple of times, and every time I sort of mulled over it, and I didn't do my research, because sometimes it's fun to not do your research and just sort of do a blind buy. And this is one where it sort of bit me in the ass. You know, and they're pretty good at some stuff. You know, the keyboards are interesting. It's sort of a knockoff of Wakeman-ish. There's some prog elements to it. I don't know what to describe this except for Asia-esque. I don't know. I guess a lot of people really dig UK. I guess I'm just not one of them. I don't know. All right, final record I'm going to go over today was one that blew me away. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. And that is Toxic Holocaust, an overdose of death. I picked this up, like I mentioned, I think I showed this before real briefly in a quick finds that I had. You know, if this band, and it even came on this cool sort of green vinyl, which I don't usually go out of my way to collect colored vinyl. I just don't, because I'm not going to spend $40 for a record. I'm just not, unless it's something I'm really looking for. But this record it's just fantastic. It reminds me of Venom a lot, and in such a good way. It's just dark and gritty, and it's not overproduced. It's thrashy, it's fun, and it's ridiculous. And I insist upon ridiculousness in my metal. And with songs like "Nuke the Cross," you're getting, what you're getting. So this is great. I've listened to this a couple of times, and thrash usually isn't my forte. I enjoy thrash. I think because of this record, I'm going to explore a little bit more thrash. But it's never been, and I lived in the Bay Area for quite a while, and I knew everybody was super hip to it. I've always been more of a doom guy or a stoner rock guy. But boy, that kind of blew me away. Really, really, really impressed. And I found out they're actually going to be playing here next month. So I'm definitely going to go to that show. I think with Lord Dying, I don't know. But I'm pretty jazzed. So I'm going to go to that show. I don't go to a ton of shows anymore, but this one this record impressed me so much. So, yeah, that's kind of all I got. Once again, thank you so much for the 100 subscribers. I appreciate that, and I endeavor to create quality programming without any telethons yet. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week. Comment, tell me stuff I don't know. I like to learn. So, happy weekend, and goodbye.